So this week's chapter of One Piece was mostly just build up, great build up to. I expect some of the greatest battles we've ever seen. Um, but most of all, it just starts off with all the Colosseum combatants: Don Chinjao, Elisabello, Cavendish, all of them just charging like last time. Pika, his head was just destroyed. He lost his arm. Oh no, he regrew it. They don't show Zoro, but it's implied that he's still fighting Pika. We don't know how that battle's going, and then the rest of the Donflamingo family is just watching the chaos, and they're just like looking down on everybody. It's like, they're not gonna get up here. We have the Marines on our side. We're all pretty much be okay. And then they just show the positions of everyone, where everyone is. Of course, Luffy being Luffy, he's the closest to the palace, to where Donflamingo is. Then it shows Usopp, Robin, Violet, the King Riku, just Bartolomeo and Rebecca are all on the plateau, and they're kind of trying to figure out where to go from here. The dwarves are still planning on going to the factory and destroying and rescuing their queen. Violet shows that she found the key to Law's handcuffs. So Rebecca and Bartolomeo volunteer to go deliver to Luffy. And I'm thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen then, though? I mean, once they release Law, is he going to help Luffy take down the Flamingo? Because I would find that very interesting. Where you're so used to Luffy always taking on the big head, the final boss all by himself. I would find it very interesting to see that now Doflamingo is being taken down by not just Luffy, but Law as well. I think that's would be something fun to do, because I don't think it's been done before. Luffy's never had someone with him help take down a big bad guy. And I think now that alliances have been introduced and showing that the world is much more difficult to get through without, some sort of support of any kind, that they're gonna have to team up more often than not. But anyway, so again, we go back to the Colosseum fighters, and apparently they start going up the walls up to the palace, and the Donflamingo family is surprised because they thought the Marines were there between them, and they're wondering what the hell, where are the Marines? Then we go to what happened. It's Sabo's taking down the Marines for everybody. He's standing in between everyone else and the Marines. And he introduces himself to the Admiral Fujitora. And it looks like they're about to fight. So pretty much the build-up is pretty much who's going to be fighting who. Now it's going to be the Colosseum fighters versus the rest of the smaller Doflamingo family members. And then, there's also a panel where Frankie is about to blow open the doors to the factory, but Senor Pink comes back up and just like body slams him. And now it's a rematch. I don't remember. Yeah, he did fight Senor Pink before. But then he was double teamed by another family member, so maybe that's why he lost. There's gonna be a rematch between Frankie and Senor Pink, Colosseum fighters versus the Doflamingo family, Sabo versus the entire Marines, including Admiral Fujitora, and Zoro versus Pika. And now there's a slight hint that maybe it's gonna be Luffy and Law versus Doflamingo. So again, that's gonna be interesting to see. And then I don't think there's been anyone who's gonna fight Treble. I haven't seen a hint as who's gonna fight him, or maybe it's gonna be taken down by someone random. And then there's Kiros. Kiros is also in here, but it's very small. He's trying to escape all the regular civilians of the kingdom. He's trying not to hurt them, because he understands they're just scared. But he's got things to do. He has to get through. He has to take down Donflamingo. He has to save the kingdom, protect his daughter and everyone. So and again, I'm wondering who is he gonna fight? I don't think maybe he's gonna end up just like the king from Alabasta. He's just gonna be a spectator to the fight between Luffy, Law, and Donflamingo. He's gonna sit there in awe of how amazingly strong they all are. But another aspect I find interesting is Sabo. He already has a certain move set. He already knows certain combat techniques, and I'm wondering if he's gonna find a way to implement the fire fruit into that martial arts style, or is he gonna use more of the traditional fire moves that Ace did? Because I noticed, he mentioned, he doesn't have full control of the powers yet. But in the panel he shows him in front of the Marines, it doesn't show him on fire or anything like that. But his staff, his stick, or whatever you call it, both edges are on fire. So he's using it in a more unconventional way, or at least a different way than Ace was, showing there is a major difference between the fighting styles of the brothers. And when you really think about it, Ace wasn't the best martial arts, the best hand-to-hand fighter. He depended a lot on his devil fruits, and I think that goes back to the old saying that Logia users who have too much confidence in their abilities tend to die young. And I guess that's sort of true, like Ace. He thought he was kind of invincible to a certain degree with his with his flame fruit, and it gave him a bit of they gave him the idea that he didn't need to work on his physical attacks. But Sabo, he's had nothing but physical martial arts. He's had nothing but hand-to-hand combat training, and now that he has a flame fruit, I think he's not just gonna throw that away. He's gonna find a way to implement the fire fruit into that martial arts style, and I think that's gonna be very, very nice to see. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be something new, something fresh, because most Logia style users, you notice they don't really have any martial arts styles or any unique fighting forms. They all depend on their Logias to help them in combat. So I like that little that idea. So now everything's set up. All the fights are pretty much set up, except for if Kiros is gonna fight anybody, or just gonna be a spectator the rest of the way. If Trouble's gonna fight anybody, or he's just gonna be thrown away too in the side. I don't think he is. And there's also the Diamante. I think his name is Diamante. Yeah, I think it's Diamante. He's still out there somewhere. He hasn't fought anyone, which was weird, because I thought Sabo was the one fighting him, but then he somehow managed to get all the way to Fujitora. So now, Sabo's fighting Fujitora, Diamante was left out somewhere, Treble was still down in the factory somewhere. It's just everyone just scattered. Everyone still hasn't managed to find a place of where they're gonna be, what they're gonna do. So it was a lot of build-up, a lot of great build-up to possibly some great fights. And again, I'm really hoping that it's going to be Law and Luffy versus Donflamingo. It's not just going to be Luffy, because Donflamingo seems like this very powerful fighter that really requires two powerful fighters to take him down. I'm not saying Luffy's weak. No, I'm just saying that now that they're in the new world, that they're going to be facing a lot of big threats that have years of experience in battle and are very merciless. And I think that they need to find ways to work together and survive together. And I think that's the whole point of introducing alliances. It's not just taking down organizations, but taking down powerful enemies, powerful fighters, in combat. And I don't think that would be cheating. I'm just saying you have to find ways to survive. And I think in the new world, as they say, their alliances are one of the best ways to go against Yonkos, warlords. It just, you know, you gotta find any way possible to survive to get to the end. And I think having Law and Luffy fight Donflamingo together would be a great example of that. Anyway, this has been Tony Dragon, and this has been my review of One Piece chapter 750. And I can't wait to see what fights are going to come out next. Bye.